Welcome to the Wisdom to Wealth podcast. This is the podcast where I interview the wealthiest entrepreneurs and business owners in the world. I am your host, Shamar Star Cox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners get seen and get paid by creating binge worthy content on social media. I am also the host of the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So if you want to learn how to create content that sells in 5 days or less, feel free to DM the word challenge accepted on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, and I will happily send you an invite. Today we have the wonderful guest, Quonda Renee. She is a digital marketing strategist, faith-driven entrepreneur, and business mentor who specializes in organic growth and content monetization. Her journey began with the simple act of obedience, following God's direction on social media, which led her to build a media platform with millions of followers, launch a successful app, and create a 6 figure business. Now, she helps entrepreneurs like you leverage digital strategies to grow their brands, attract the right audience, and generate consistent revenue without relying on ads. Quanda, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here on today.
Absolutely. Okay, I just want to jump right into your story. I feel like the longer that I get to know you, the more your story gets juicier.
Right.
So tell us, take us on your journey from zero to wealth.
Okay, so I started out, I was broke, busted, disgusted on my parents' couch. I had a master's degree. I was applying to a bunch of jobs and nobody was calling me back. I knew that I was kind of smart, so I didn't expect to be sitting on my parents' couch, but I was laid off from a job and it just seems like I couldn't recover. And so I was doing anything that I can. I was doing Uber, Postmates, DoorDash, teaching ESL to Chinese kids. I did Apple for a season just to get the check. And it just seems like nothing was working. And so during that season, being on my parents' couch, my father was like antagonizing me, reminding me, you're in your big grown age. Why are you on my couch? Like just being like a panina to me, just kind of mocking me and making me feel even worse for being on his couch. And so that pushed me to go on a fast, to go pray. And I was like, God, there has to be more to life than this. You did not call me to struggle. You did not call me the toil. What am I doing wrong? So during that fast, the Lord told me to do something that sounded very, very crazy to me. He told me to start a Facebook page. Mind you, I didn't like social media. Darn sure didn't like Facebook. So I'm like, it got to be some mistake. God, what am I going to do with a Facebook page? My car is about to be repossessed. These credit card companies are calling me. Why do I need to start a Facebook page? So I try to tell God, no, I'm not going to do it. So a few days went on and it just did not leave me. And I was just like, you know what? What do I got to lose? So I said, okay, God, I'm going to give you a conditional yes. I'm going to start that Facebook page when you give me the money, when you give me the job, when everything is going right, then I'll do the Facebook page. But God was like, no, I'm not asking you for a conditional yes. I need a full yes. So I pushed my pride to the side because I'm like, listen, I'm already at rock bottom. I'm at my lowest. I'm humiliated on my parents' couch. I launched this Facebook page, didn't really have any direction. I went in Canva and created a square that just said, I need a word. Very simple, black coloring, white text, and just put that on Facebook. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know what I was doing really. I was just following what I believe God told me to do. I started the page. I post like 4 clips of different sermons from different people. The first day I launched the page, 10,000 followers. Day 9, 100,000 followers. And then shortly after that, somebody says, hey, the Lord told me to give you a logo. Shortly after that, somebody says, hey, I heard you do marketing. I want to hire you for my ministry. And my yes opened the door for all of those things to happen. So that's kind of where I started. I literally started on my parents' couch in a low season, in a depressed state, but seeking God because I knew there had to be more to life than what I was going through. So that's how I started.
Girl, that story sounds similar to mine just a little bit. Minus the Penina. I know there's a bunch of us in here where like there's a high calling on our life and we can't see it because of where we are. And like, so God had a high calling on your life, but you couldn't see it because you were sitting on this couch. One thing you said that was so powerful, you said, I have a master's degree. I was sitting on my parents' couch and I was applying for jobs and ain't nobody was checking for me.
Not one person.
Girl, that is That's why I said I feel like we have some similarity because the same thing happened with me. Like I worked in television. Well, before I could even break into television, I had a master's degree because I thought this will help me to be able to open even more doors. Like, how many of you who are watching now, that is your same, that used to be your mindset. Like, you grew up in a society where they were telling you, get good grades, go to
Mhm.
college, get higher education, and this will help you to get a job that pays you more. And we did that, and we still find ourselves sitting on our parents' couch, just like, Lord, what's going on? And so that really resonated with me because that also happened to me. But I love that in your story, you prayed. Now, what prompted you to pray to ask God, what should I do?
I think just being on rock bottom, and then with my father, like he really was antagonizing me. And I know that it was a spirit. Like I think he just couldn't understand, because one of the things that he said that got me, he said, that God that you go to church, that God that you pray to, why can't he get you off my couch? And I did not let my father see me cry. I went in the bathroom and I said, God, you got to show him. You got to show him that you are God. I feel like he's mocking you, God. You got to show him. You got to show him. And I didn't let him see me sweat, because I didn't want it to make it seem like he had me. He got me. You know what I mean? Like the enemy was winning. So I went in the bathroom and I cried in that bathroom, but I cried out to the Lord, and I'm just like, God, I know you have a plan for me. I know you didn't call me to toil. I know you didn't create me to just sit here and this is my end. Because a lot of times too, when you go through hard circumstances, if you're not careful, you won't see beyond where you are, and you think like this is your permanent state. You don't think that you'll make it out of this. But one of the things that I acquired while going through hard seasons is the power of my imagination. I would begin to see myself speaking at events, again, see myself walking in these red bottoms, teaching other people about different things like that, meeting with clients. So I had to learn to see beyond where I was.
Ooh, come on. That is vision right there. I had to learn to see beyond where I was. I love that. It's something with me. For a while, I stopped seeing visions of where I was because I felt like it hurt so much. Because I'm like, I'm not there. And it
Yeah.
seemed like it was so far off. So, what did you do in order to protect your mind so you can keep focused on the vision, especially when negative thoughts was trying to come in and stop you, especially when naysayers was coming in and trying to stop you, especially when you didn't see the finances that you expected to see right away? What did you do to keep your mind focused on the vision?
I postured myself in prayer a lot. I learned a long time ago, ascending, going beyond where you are to another place and seeing. Like, even there was a time during this transition where I was living in a hotel. I would literally go outside in that hotel parking lot and see myself getting out of that hotel. I would literally pray while I'm walking through that parking lot. And the crazy thing is, how I got out of the hotel, I was in the parking lot walking around and I was praying, and I'm like, God, I know this is not my end. I know something is coming. As I'm praying, one of my clients at the time texts me and says, Hey, I want to pay you out for the rest of the year. That was March. That allowed me to get money, right? That allowed me to get a car, and I moved to Atlanta and never looked back. But it was the power of prayer, and it was the power of ascending, seeing beyond where I was, and knowing that to never build a house in a temporary place. That's something I always talk about and always say. Never build a house in a temporary place. It's okay, build a fort, have a little tent, but don't believe that you're going to stay there forever, because I believe every problem has an expiration date. And just for me, I just knew like this couldn't be my end. I know I wasn't created to just be on this couch or be in this hotel. I knew that there was more. There was always something pulling at me and tugging at me, but I had to posture myself in prayer to ascend.
Girl, never build a house in a temporary place. That just reminds me, even when it comes to friendships, don't make a temporary friend your lifetime friend. That was a lesson I had to learn. God was like, this person's in your life for a season. And I'm like, I want them to be my best friend forever. Okay, well, like 1 year later, they broke my heart. And I was like, oh, did you say it was a season, God? It was just a season? Okay. But I love that. That is so powerful. So let's talk about your business, the business that you were able to build, how successful it has grown, and what you had to transition into. If you're okay, talk about. I don't know if you shared that story of your the first business that you built. Did you share that story already with your audience?
Yeah, some of the people know.
Oh,
Some of the people know. Yeah. So, back in 2017, when I surrendered to God and I obeyed when He told me to start that Facebook page, as soon as I said yes, it opened the door. So then I started getting people, pastors and preachers, and even business owners that would reach out to me and say, "Hey, how much can I pay you just to promote my ministry or to promote my product or to promote my service on your page?" And so I created a system on the back end. Okay, this is going to be the price if you want to do a video. This is going to be the price if you want to do a graphic. This is going to be the price if you want it to be a banner. This is going to be the price if you want it to put on a website. So I created a whole system in the back end, and that allowed me to hit six figures very, very fast within probably within the second year or so of doing that. So people would just word of mouth kind of just blew up once we got the audience. We built the audience because within like 5 to 7 months, we had 700,000 followers. So once people saw that, they're like, whoa, I need to get in front of these people. So I created that. I would have people that would pay me to even go live and things like that. So was able to build six figures very early on just from people paying me to be seen on my Facebook page. And then it started to kind of develop into more of a media company during the pandemic. The Lord was shifting. The Lord allowed me during the pandemic to create an app. On the app is kind of styled like Netflix. It was styled like Netflix. And basically you can go on the app and kind of binge watch sermons. So they would pay me, or some of the people that I had relationships with, they'll send me their content, we'll upload it on the app, and then the audience could go and watch it. The Lord was showing me even back then the importance of having something of your own. The app I own, Facebook I didn't own. So then, that was going very, very well up until 2023, August 2023, on my birthday, my Facebook page was hacked. I was at the airport in Virginia, coming back from serving a conference I was helping out with. I came back and I'm in the airport and I plug my little charger into it. And all of a sudden I get hacked. Um, I'm assuming that happened in the airport because they said that people can get into your ports and things like that at the airport. So then I'm just like, oh my God, I know all these people that have affiliations with Facebook, people that do ads. I'm reaching out to everybody. I'm like being optimistic. I can get this page back. I can get this page back. I tried and tried and tried for months and to no avail. People was acting like, oh, I can help you. And then when it came to getting the help, it was crickets. And so I'm just navigating. And then finally I was going through a little place of depression as well, because it's just like, this was my biggest source of income. I had a staff of 6 people. And now I got to tell these people, I got to let you go because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make it. You know what I'm saying? Although I had money saved up, that stuff starts to deplete when you still got bills and things you have to pay in regards to the business. So then during that season, one of the things that my spiritual mother said to me at the time, she was just like, that's not your identity. You are born to do more than just what you were doing with I Need a Word. And something about that helped me snap out of that place that I was in, because I was really in a place of depression. And then the Lord started showing me, he asked me a simple question during that time: what's in your house? And then he said, particularly, what's in your Dropbox? I go look at my Dropbox. I have all these courses. I have all these PDFs. And he's just like, monetize them. And so that's when I started taking TikTok more seriously. And I started to sell digital products basically on TikTok. I would sell journals, I sell workbooks, whatever I could. And before I knew it, I had hit 6 figures doing that just on TikTok alone. So I knew like I was able to do more than what I was doing. It was just, I was so dependent on what that particular success did for me. And so navigating after that, the aftermath of that, and then being disappointed because it's almost like, God, but I was serving you when this happened. God, I was building this for you. I was following what you said, but yet I still get hacked. So having that disappointment and that frustration and navigating through it and just learning, I believe God was also, for me, stripping off a lot of the false dependencies I had in that season and showing me that your true dependency is me. hold on to me and to my word. And so I need a word is kind of in transition mode right now. I'm getting ready to revamp the app and kind of fix it up. But we're gonna follow God wherever He's saying in that area. I don't feel like it's completely over. I just think it's gonna be a new way in which we get the gospel out.
Oh, just so powerful. There's a couple of things that you said, and I had to highlight this, which was people were paying me to be seen. And in my brand, when I'm talking to my clients, I always share with them. I say, this is the new mindset I want you to adopt. When people see me, they pay me,
Jesus.
because that's the reality. Like, in this world, right, in this society that we are in now, people are not just building their business brick by brick, they're building it click by click.
Yes.
Anyone who could click on your page, anyone who can see you, like, that is where the money is, right? And it's funny because I hear a lot of people say things like your following is vanity metrics, your views are vanity metrics, but that's what is being used to, one, show that you're the authority when people are showing up, when people are following, when you have a community, and number two, land bigger deals. Like, I have clients where one year they were nobody, and the next year they had hundreds of thousands of followers. Now they're speaking at Essence Fest, they're speaking at iHeartRadio, they're speaking at retreats, right? And so, as much as we like to say, it doesn't matter about my following, doesn't matter about this, that's not true. Because today, those things are actually helping you to be seen. And here you were, people were paying you just so that they could be seen. They were leveraging your audience. And that's what helped you to get to six figures very quickly. I
Yeah,
also love that you talked about, like, really relying on God and trusting God, because we're going to go through our ups and downs. Like, it's never
absolutely.
just going to be a straight ride to the top. It's just not going
Right.
to happen, right? Like, that adversity that hits us is there to build resilience, right? And that's exactly what was happening when you were building your business. You were building resilience, because I do believe that you're going to be able to rebuild this. It's going to be even bigger and better, with so, like, millions and millions of people watching, but you'll be able to sustain it, and you'll have a team that can stay with you through this. So I just thought that that was so powerful. But then also, I think about the skill sets that you are learning. I don't know what your master's degree was in, right? But here was God telling you, okay, start creating content on Facebook. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Why in the world would I be doing that? But as you were creating the content, you developed a skill set to be able to speak to people in a way that will move them to transform and take action. And I thought that that was so powerful. That's probably why your brand keeps growing so much, because people are attracted to this fiery message. They want what it is that you have, right? But then also being able to keep going, because you could have quit. Like you said,
Yeah.
you were depressed when your business got hacked, when your Facebook page got hacked. You could have quit, but you didn't. You were just like, you know what? Let me just get up and do it again. So how do you help your clients to get out of the funk that they are in, to build their business so that they can see the success that God has for them?
I just share my testimony a lot of times, and a lot of people connect with it, but you just got to keep going. Like, if God gave you access to do those things, the things that I was doing, He'll send something else, right? I just have to learn how to develop or go with the way He's saying to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that did what it needed to do. Now you see everybody has pages now where their sermons and things are going viral. Back then, I was one of the few. So I was like a trailblazer in my time. I do have a degree, a master's degree in marketing, right? But I learned marketing hand on from actually doing that, learning psychology of people, why people share things, why people connect the way they connect. And so the Lord was teaching me that stuff. Holy Spirit was allowing me to learn all of that stuff. That's why people at one point would pay me thousands of dollars, because they're like, you can hear, you can watch my sermon and pick out what's gonna go viral. You can pick out what's gonna speak to the people. There are a lot of people like the Michael Todds and the Sarah Jakes in the world where their content started viral on my page. So they had to create their own pages because their stuff just took off so fast. But it was because I had an ear to hear, and my ear was trained by the Lord on that.
Girl, you better say that again. My ear was trained by the Lord. I love that. An anointing to hear
Yeah.
what's going to go viral. And yet, every time we speak, I hear you saying this, and I'm like, Lord, that is a powerful anointing. Like, someone told me that I had a media anointing, but when I heard about yours, I was like, no, she got a media anointing. Like, that right there is so good. But God is using you to help people build their brands so that they can be seen,
Yeah.
especially those who have felt invisible for so long, especially those who have built powerful businesses, but not enough people know about them. And now they get to meet Quonda, where it's like, hey, this is all you need to do so that when you're showing up, you take off, right? Because it's your time to be seen. So I love that. So let's shift gears a little bit. So we know how social media can help people to be seen, right? And to be successful. But how are you helping them to build wealth in their business?
Well, a lot of the people that I have been teaching, I'm teaching them from the ground up. A lot of people that are connected to me, these are people that are in financial cycles. These are people that are in places of poverty. They think poverty, they speak poverty. So, one of the first things I work on is the mindset. Helping them to be able to say, okay, well, what does the word say about where you should be? Right, identifying that, getting unlearning everything you've learned so far about money and stepping into what the kingdom says. We operate from a different place, we operate from a different citizenship. So helping that and deprogramming the negative thoughts and the negative things. It's because what you think you'll say, you know what I'm saying? So starting off with the mindset, and then we go to the mouth. I say all the time, poverty has a language, and it says, I'm broke, I can't afford, I don't have, da 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 da. I was listening to you a little bit earlier as I was getting dressed this morning when you were live, and you were saying, when people say to you, I can't afford it, you said, that's not my client. And I was telling my people that, I said, I have a friend, and she said, that's not her client. That's not her client, because she knows who she's called to. So I start with a lot of people from the ground up. And then the people that have a really, really hunger to be like, okay, now I know God is calling me to entrepreneurship. Those are the people that come and I help them. The ones that are serious, they're ready to get past the procrastination, and they're ready to just start and just leap and just jump. So that's kind of where I start with the people from the ground level, but I also start with people who like to move, because it's one thing to start deprogramming the mind and speaking it, but then you got to move. Like the widow woman, the Bible never says she prayed. She went to Elisha for wisdom. She did not pray. She sought wisdom, and then she moved.
Honey, we want to have Bible study because that is one of my favorite things I love to teach. Oh my goodness. I just get so many Christians who are like, I got to pray on this. What do you, God already gave you the answer. What are you praying on? Go
Exactly.
move on that thing. Like she was in a deficit. So we're talking about the woman who had the oil. So this is found in First Kings. She had the oil, and God had asked her, what's in your house? Elijah had asked her, what's in your house? Right. And she said, I just have a little bit of oil. And she went to Elijah to begin with because her husband died, and she was in a lot of debt that she was about to lose her children. So she had motivation
Yeah.
actually go seek a coach, excuse me, a prophet, right, to help her. And here she was now, he's telling her what to do, and she didn't, let me fast real quick. Let me
Right.
pray. I get Christians that do that, and I'm sitting here like, you playing. You need to go someplace else.
But we
Because,
use that as an excuse.
yes,
Or
because
I'm just waiting on God. That's an excuse not to move.
yep. And a lot of it is rooted in fear.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on God because I'm afraid. So if he can show me the full picture, if he can show me the full step. And now here's the thing. We're not above this because you and I have gone through it too. Like you said, I'm gonna give you a conditional answer, God, because I don't even know anything about this. But one thing that God does is he relies on our faith. Let me not say rely on, but he is waiting on our faith for us to
Yeah.
actually take that step so that he can give us the next step. And look how your business took off, but not just your business. Like oftentimes the reason why we're not moving is because we're so focused on us. What are
Yeah.
people going to think? What if I fail? What if people make fun of me? What if I get judged? Well, you know who got judged and got made fun of? Jesus. And not
Absolutely.
once did he say, I'm not going to show up. When the Sadducees and the Pharisees was making fun of him, he didn't go, I'm not dying for those jokers. They playing. He didn't do that. He said, I'm going to keep on showing up. And so look at how many people he blessed. And so look how many people and businesses Quonda has blessed, right? Like if you didn't show up, honestly, so many of the people that you have helped wouldn't have gone viral. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have large platforms now. And the people who you are leading now, they wouldn't be able to move into their wealth shift. And so I
Yeah.
just really love that you're talking about that because our businesses is not just for us. Like, yeah,
Right.
God uses it as a way to funnel wealth through it, to funnel money through it. But ultimately, it's to make an impact on the people's lives who is ready for this. Another
Yeah.
thing that I love that you talked about was your ideal client. Your ideal client is someone where they were where you used to be when you were on your parents' couch, right? They have a poverty mindset, they don't know what to do next. But here's a huge difference between talking to people who are broke and people who have a poverty mindset. Some people with a poverty mindset, they have that desire to leave that mindset because they know that there's more. And
Yeah.
those are the people you're talking to. Because if you were talking to people with a poverty mindset and they were broke, you'd be talking into the void and nothing will ever happen.
Yeah.
But you're talking to people where there's a fire inside of them where they want to change. They want the transformation, right? And that's huge when it comes to us building our businesses, that we're talking to the right audience. So let us know how do you help your dream client talk to the right audience when they're showing up on social media to sell their products or services?
Yeah, so we do a lot in my membership. We do a more of a deeper dive on understanding your target audience and creating content specifically for that person. So knowing their pain points, knowing their desires, knowing their struggles and where they want to be. And I teach you how to present that online. So like let's say somebody's selling a prayer journal, right? We're not just going to get on there and just say, "Hey, buy my prayer journal." What we're going to do is we're going to speak to why you would need a prayer journal. I got this prayer journal and three things changed in my prayer life. Things like that. So just teaching how to go beyond just posting just to post, but actually posting with intent, posting content that serves, posting content that sells, and things like that. So we do a deeper dive into who your target audience and understanding that. Because otherwise, some people just go and they just post and post and post. I remember I met with a client last year and I gave her this whole strategy. And I'm like, if you do this, I think she was talking about like therapy or something in that realm. I'm like, if you do this and you do this, you'll take off. I'm telling you, do your content like this. Couple months later, I see her content pass me by and it's just like she's just talking about herself. And I'm like, people are not connecting to that. They're not relating to that. And so where you could have been having thousands of followers by now, I see you stuck at like not even 100 because you keep talking about self.
So good. So good. Especially because when we start our businesses and we're showing up on social media, it's to serve.
Yeah,
Who are you
absolutely.
serving? Like when Jesus showed up, he didn't talk about himself. He talked about the kingdom. He talked about how they can have a transformation. He talked about how they can be healed, right? When people are tuning in, they want to know how you can help them. So I
Exactly.
love that. Okay, so for those who are tuning in now, I'm going to ask you like two more questions. But for those who are tuning in now, how can they get access to you? How can they work with you? And I'll drop some of your links in the chat while you're speaking.
Sure. So on TikTok, I am building a business with God. On YouTube, I am building a business with God. On Instagram, I am building a business with God. To join my membership or to find out more about my membership, go to buildingabusinesswithgod.com, or you could go to my pin site that has all my digital products and different challenges that I do, pinsite.com/Quonda Renee, and you can get access to me, or you can send me a DM on any of these social media platforms as well.
Awesome. Do you want to talk about the challenges you have going on right now?
Yeah, so right now we have a 7-day financial reset challenge. It's an email challenge. You sign up, and for 7 days, we are talking about shifting your mindset to be able to receive more. We're talking about repentance. If you've done anything wrong with your relationship with money, repentance is not just a forgive me, it's a turning away. I'm not going to gamble off this money. I want to be a better steward of my money. I want to manage my money. Also talk about the right words to say. We know that our words are framing our world. So it's just 7 days of going through that to help you with shifting your mindset when it comes to wealth. Another challenge that I have going on, another email challenge, is called Intimacy with God in Your Business. Is 7 days of inviting God into your business so that you can leap, so that you can take the jump, so that you can launch and go out in the world and show what God has called you to do. Moving, a part of that challenge is moving. When I first did that challenge, I did that challenge last year, and I was on 7 days. I was on a fast with it. And the Lord reminded me of a prophetic word I got 2 years ago about starting this consulting agency. And so he said during that challenge or during that fast, the time was now. I launched that challenge. I launched that business of mine, right? The consulting agency, not really having this whole grand scheme plan. I just launched because I heard God say launch. Before I knew it, my month of June and July was all booked out, serving people, having clients, had somebody book me for a whole month. So moving when God says move activates the blessing.
I
And so
love
that's what that challenge is about.
Awesome. And you can get access just by, I dropped your pen site here, and I also have buildingabusinesswithgod.com. Both of them are in the chat, so you can grab it if you are on YouTube. It's also displayed on the screen. If you're on Instagram, you can grab it from the chat as well. If you're going to join us for the replay, the links will also be in the captions, so that all you have to do is copy and paste so that you can access Quonda. Also, you can follow her Instagram, TikTok, Building a Business with God. Oh, and on YouTube too. So before we wrap up, and you have been such a blessing, by the way, Quonda. Like your story is powerful. The people who are following you are powerful. Thank you for those who have been just engaging on YouTube. YouTube, y'all are awake for the last 2 days. Instagram has been a bit quiet, so that's different, right? Let me ask you this final question. What's one decision or shift you made in your business that really skyrocketed you to the next level?
I think like just doing it. Like for me, there has never been a perfect launch, right? I know gurus tell you got to do da, 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 da. But whenever I've tried that, it doesn't work for me. Whenever I'm just kind of spontaneous and I'm just moving with God, that's when I see the harvest. That's when I see the win. That's when, I get, more signups and more sales and different things. So I think just moving, just doing, and not necessarily, because sometimes we'll allow, I don't have this and I don't have this and I don't have this in place to hold us back, when sometimes you just got to move. And then on the second go around, you can fix it up and make it better. You know what I mean? You can have those step one, step two, step three sometimes. But if I feel a sense and God is pulling me to do something, I just launch and I do it unafraid. And whatever happens, happens. I don't beat myself up about it. But if I will beat myself up if I don't move, and then nothing happens. Right. So just moving, just moving, just moving.
I love that. Just moving, going with the wind as the wind is leading and directing you. And you are evidence of the success of just walking by faith. Like oftentimes, business owners are waiting for the full picture. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the next step to arrive. But really, that step only arrives when you take that first step and the second step. And it's really a testament of your relationship with God, because this is how he wants us to be intimate with him. When he's telling us where to move, it becomes like a dance where we're flowing with him. So I love that you said that one thing that helped to shift your business. So thank you so much, Quonda, for joining us
Thank
today, for
you.
sharing your journey. Thank you for those who joined us on YouTube as well as LinkedIn and Instagram. It has been a blessing. We have our podcast. It goes live Monday through Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. So we have another powerful podcast tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. Feel free to join us. And you all have a wonderful day.